Rats.
Darn?
No, not darn at all. Rats. Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown. Today we've got new Skaven releases, and specifically we're going to take a look at them, their sprues of course, but also their rules and whether or not they might be worth getting. Now it's a bit of a challenge because we don't have the full points yet. I know there was a technically leaked document, but it's not official, blah 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 blah. So without points, we don't have full context for all of these. But we can at least look with the rules and see if any of these make sense. I will say that none of the overarching rules have changed much.
Yeah. The faction rules, the artifacts, all that stuff, pretty much the same.
Yes.
Which we knew in the article they said.
Correct. They basically said, hey, this is going to be like Tyranids or Space Marines, where nothing has really changed. This was written before this edition came out. Right. So if you were hoping for like fixing this or fixing that in a way that's not points, you're probably not going to get it.
Yeah.
Points fixes you might get because they have made the great decision. That sounds sarcastic. I mean that legitimately.
No,
great decision
great.
to have the points online. Like there are no points in this book.
Right.
And you know what? I'm fine with that. Like
I hope they start doing that with 40K.
that would be great because I love that. Like just understand that points need to be a living document. So the first one, which we're not going to talk about, is the repackage of the Skaven Spearhead. It used to be called Vanguard.
Yeah.
This is the one that has the Warp Lightning Cannon, the 3 Storm Fiends, the Grey Seer, and 20 Clan Rats.
So basically they had the Vanguard.
Yes.
And then they came out with Skaven Tide.
Yes.
And then they put a second one in there so that they have two, and then this is the re-release of it.
Yes. The only thing that's different is that the Grey Seer is now the old Grey Seer, who has been replaced with the new Grey Seer.
Yep.
And the Clan Rats are the new Clan Rats instead of the old Clan Rats that would have been in this box previously.
Correct.
So if you're buying one of these in the store, or off of, a third-party Amazon or whatever, especially Amazon, be really careful that you're getting the one you want.
Yeah.
Because you might just not want to buy one of these on Amazon for a bit, because they're probably going to give you the old one for a bit, because they know they don't want to. They want to get rid of it. So either way, we talked about this a bit already. If you want everything in this box, this is a great buy. The moment you don't want one thing in this box, you probably want to just pick them up individually.
Yeah. This one in particular I think is very good because the Storm Fiends are like, what, $70 by them? No, sorry, $80 by themselves.
Yeah, Storm Fiends are $80.
So that's not very good.
Storm Fiends are $80 and good.
And good.
So that one we won't talk about. The other thing we won't talk about the rules for is the dice, because I don't have rules.
Yeah. There are 6 sides, one of which has a symbol on it.
Yeah. I will say we panned these a little bit. These do look better and read better in person than they did online.
The shades looked a little too close in the picture.
I still don't love green on green, but if I was throwing these in the game, I wouldn't have trouble reading them.
Yeah.
So, that's a good thing. And so now we get into the releases. So this is divided into 2 parts. Part 1 is the stuff that was already in Skaven Tide.
Yes.
Most of the rules haven't changed for that, but we're still going to go through them pretty quickly. In kind of random order. Very sorry. Well, actually, we'll leave those towards the end.
Okay.
We'll do the new releases first.
Sure.
The other part, of course, is the ones that are brand new rules that were not in the, battle pack, the index.
Yeah, the index.
The thing that's not this. Also, by the way, the book's out.
Yeah.
It's a little thinner than normal because they've cut a lot of the war scrolls. Most of them I don't miss, but some of them I do. So I guess let's start with the elephant in the room.
You mean...
Rah, rah, Rasputin, Skaven's greatest prayer machine. Here was a rat that really could chant. Doo-doo-doo.
He really could.
Yeah, and he really can. So, Vizik, I believe the leaked points is 450?
I believe
Ish. So, grain of salt, but people are talking about it. People who know what they're talking about are talking about it like it's real. So,
yeah, it's probably real.
He's probably 450 points.
That's expensive.
That is, a fifth of your army and change. So what do you get for 450 points? Well, you get 10 inches of movement, 15 health, 5 up save, 5 up ward, 5 up control, 5 up control, 5 control. He has, his weapons aren't really the point, but they're not bad.
He's a monster priest.
Yes. He's got an Unholy Gnaw Staff, which has 6 attacks, 4s and 2s, 1 rend D6 damage. Never like seeing the D6.
D6 is a little rough, but 6 attacks on D6 is not terrible.
And then he also has Host of Vermin, which is just little rats who are around him.
The extra rats.
10 attacks, 5s and 5s, no rend, 1 damage companion, so no being buffed by much.
Yeah.
All right, and then of course his main thing is that he is a priest. He's specifically a priest 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you're only one in here?
Oh, priest 2, yes, the only one in here.
Not your only priest, and I guess there's one we'll talk about at the end. We have another priest that we thought we didn't have. But he's your priest 2. He's also a master clan. He's got the demon keyword. He's your war master as well, so if he is in your army, he has to be your war leader, your general. Hero, of course, monster. So he's got 4 abilities. One of them, most simple and also really, really good, Prophet of the Horned Rat. Once per battle, you can reroll a chant. Sorry, reroll chanting rolls. So you can reroll both of your chants.
Yeah, because you're a prayer man too.
That's only once per battle?
Yeah.
But hey, it can save your bacon when you really need it.
Yeah, definitely.
Fissures in Reality. During the combat phase, you pick each enemy unit in combat with this unit. Roll a d3 for each target. On a 2, inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. So basically, if you stay in combat with this guy, he deals mortals to you, to everybody around. That can be pretty powerful. Like you throw a group of annihilators into this guy and then they don't kill him. Yeah. Suddenly they're taking pretty expensive damage.
Yeah, true.
The 2 big ones, though, are the Death Frenzy and Gaze of the Gnaw. So Death Frenzy this is not the first time we've seen this ability. It's gone everywhere else, and this is where it's back, which is always kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Pick a visible enemy unit within 13 inches of this unit, or a visible friendly Skaven infantry unit within 13 inches of this unit, not wholly within.
Ooh, interesting.
I wonder if that's a typo. I wonder if they'll fix that.
Maybe.
Make a chanting roll d6. If the target is an enemy unit, subtract 1 from attacks, for melee attacks, basically, until the start of your next turn. This is any hero phase, by the way, including your enemies. If the target's a friendly unit, it can use 2 fight abilities, but you get strike last for the second one. So it's either fight twice or -1 attacks. This only works on Skaven infantry.
Yeah, unfortunately you can't put it on a war machine or on...
Right. But you can put it on rat ogres.
You can put it on rat ogres.
Ooh, I'm going to double check, but I believe they are Skaven infantry still.
I think storm fiends are too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's still some heavy punchers in here.
Yeah. It's not just clan rats.
A lot of Skaven punches in the ranged, but I think you can still build melee punchy.
Yeah, I agree.
If you roll a 12 up on the chanting roll, you get 2 targets instead of 1.
Which is awesome.
Which would be hilarious. Honestly, I like the -1 attacks more than fight twice.
Yeah, I feel like the default is going to be the -1 attack.
Because that can really ruin someone's day. But it's offense versus defense.
And it is cool that you can pick 2 targets, because then you can pick either 2 friendlies, 2 enemies, or 1-on-1. Very cool.
And the other one is Gaze of the Gnaw, once per turn during any combat phase. So any, but only once per turn. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit. Roll a dice on a 2 up, so don't roll a 1. For the rest of the turn, if the unit is in combat with the target, when the target is picked to use a fight ability, all of the target's attacks must target this unit. So it's a taunt, basically. And
just a little strange for a kind of squishy
so
monster.
Subtract 1 from hit rolls and wound rolls for the target's combat attacks.
That's better.
So you have to target this unit.
Yeah. So you have to target him.
But you get -1 to hit and wound.
There is one of the Bloodthirsters has a very similar ability.
And that can ruin somebody's day.
It can. Especially when monsters are like hitting on 4s now.
Yes.
Making them hit on 5s is really rough.
Really bad. And you have 15 health and a 5-up save and a 5-up ward. That will kind of save you. So, but for 450 points. Now, a lot of that cost is in the Skaven prayers, which if you would go back to our Skaven index review, are hot fire.
Yeah, they're all really good.
Skaven prayers are really good.
Oh, there was one change to the Skaven prayers for the book. The damage is no longer the unlimited one. It is Skitterleap that is.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Well, that's spells.
I'm a stupid dumb.
Yes, Skitterleap is now the unlimited one instead of Wither. Which is interesting because now I'm just never going to use a Wither.
Yeah.
And I'll use a lot of Skitterleap.
They're really leaning into the speed aspect.
Yeah. Okay. So just to remember the prayer lore, which is all Noxious prayers, so pestilence based.
Yeah. Because generally all of the priests are.
It's +1 to wound in combat. Mortals, horde clear.
Yeah.
And subtract -1 to wound. So against for attacks that target that unit, not melee attacks, just
all attacks.
All attacks.
Yeah, those are very good.
Giving +1 to combat attacks and -1 to be wounded is really good.
Yeah.
So having a priest who can do both of those things is really good.
Even if you don't want his signature spell, or you do that in your opponent's turn.
The problem is that some of the Vermin Lords are really good.
Yeah,
You're competing with space with those.
There's a lot of competition.
Thankel's also pretty good. He hasn't changed. Well, I guess we'll bring him up now. He hasn't changed from what we talked about in the index.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's just very expensive for what he is, but he is a wizard too, who gets to cheat for casting. He's got +1 to cast. He's pretty good. He's just a lot of points.
Yep.
I don't think Vizic is going to be auto take.
Yeah. I agree.
Any stretch of the imagination, but I absolutely believe if you are going for a melee build, that he is a very good choice.
Yeah, I agree. The between fight twice, being able to force combat on him, and reliably cast in both your and your opponent's turn.
Yes,
pretty good.
That's what I think is the really nice part, is the reliable casting.
Yeah,
and being able to re-roll a cast roll when you really need it.
Yeah, well, and it's both. So like you can pop it and then like if you're at the way that prayers work is you build them up. So it makes sense to do it like if you're at 0 to be able to get a higher roll on each one.
Yes, but he gets to build up twice.
Yeah,
which is by itself really, really, really good.
There are not very many multi-priests.
No. Speaking of priests, we don't have them on the table, but we wanted to talk about one addition that was not in the... what is it actually called? Faction Pack. Thank you. The index, which is the Plague Pack. This is the warband
from Underworlds.
The best Pestilence models they've ever made because they're the only new ones.
Easily.
They're also really good models. They're your infantry priests.
Yeah.
We didn't have these before.
Yeah, so they used to be unique.
Yes.
And they're not anymore.
They're not unique. They haven't gone to Legends despite being an Underworlds warband.
So they were Legends for the Faction Pack, and then they brought them back for the book.
And now they're right here.
They're right there in the book.
Which, oh, by the way, I don't know if you can see this from here. Maybe Cody will give you a zoom in. Part of the reason this book is half the size is look how many more roll skulls they fit on a page.
Yep. They're not one per page.
No. They're very readable. So the Plague Pack, we'll talk briefly about the Plague Pack, even though they're not for sale here. You can still buy them. They're still being made.
Yeah, they were put up for pre-order, but online only.
Yes.
So we did not get one.
Nope. Their melee stats are negligible. You've got Weapons of Corruption, 2 attacks, 4s and 5s, whatever. The Plague Sensor is 4 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, 2 damage. You get 4 guys with the Weapons of Corruption and 1 guy with a Plague Sensor.
Okay.
But their melee is not the point. They've got 2 health each, 6 up saves, 6-inch movement. The main thing is that they have -1 to be shot at all times.
Ooh, that's very good. For a priest. Especially since they're not a hero, so they don't get the...
Correct. No, they're just a priest 1.
Yeah.
So depending on their cost, which I don't know yet...
I don't know that one either.
They might be a great infantry priest. Just to get... And that, unfortunately, reduces Vizic's...
It does. The interesting thing is they're not even a hero.
No.
So they don't take up a hero slot on your roster.
No, they don't. They're just infantry.
I think they're really cool.
I'm going to be playing with them just because I want a priest.
Yeah.
But it does lower Vizic's stock because he's no longer like the only good priest you have that isn't a plague furnace.
Yeah, that is 350 points or whatever.
No, he's 450, but he'll do more than a plague furnace.
Yeah.
They also have the Plague Rat token, which is if you make a chanting roll of 1, you can remove the Plague Rat token and then reroll the chanting roll.
Nice.
Because remember, if you roll a chanting roll of 1, you get mortals back because the gods get angry.
No, it's not mortals. It's you remove that many.
Oh yeah, you lose your chanting points.
You lose your chanting
points.
Which is really bad.
So once a game, they get to go, sacrificial rat!
Sacrifice him to the Great Horned Rat and just like disappears.
Pocket rat! No, he just joins the Great Horned Rat. This is why the Great Horned Rat has so many rats.
You're right. It's a really bad.
When you roll a 1, you have to give your rat to the Great Horned Rat.
And that's why there's also no Plague Priest in here.
Yeah, because he didn't have a rat to give. He's with him. All right. Moving on. Doomflayer.
Or a chainsaw on wheels.
Yeah, so these were a little... So this depends on points.
Yeah.
Because in the index, they're like 60 or 80 points, and for how good they are, it's bonkers.
They are, strangely enough, too cheap.
Yes.
Because you look at them and you're like, okay, that's a lot of attacks.
Yeah, so what they are is they're 2d6 plus 3 movement, so minimum 5 movement, maximum 15.
Woo!
Tokyo Drift. 4 health, force up save, which is good for a Skaven.
That is.
Their attacks are Whirling Blades, for which you get 2d6 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage. Anti-infantry plus 1 rend, charge plus 1 damage.
Yeah.
If this unit charged this phase, pick an enemy unit within 1 inch of this unit to be the target, roll a d3 on a 2, they get mortal damage. So at 80 points, this is really cheap. 80 points for 2 of them, I believe, or something like that.
God.
It was really, really cheap.
Mhm.
If these go up in points, they might not be the terror of this book anymore.
Right. They are very cheap, reasonably killy. You point them at infantry,
And they die.
and they die.
And they're reasonably hard to kill with 4 health and 4 up save.
Yeah.
You have to devote killing to it.
You're not going to kill it with like a single pop.
Even if they do get nerfed, I don't care. This is the best model they've made here.
Oh yeah, the best model.
I like Scryer better than Ratsputin.
I like Scryer better than most.
But I know I'm in the wrong. It's okay. This is where my heart lies. Where my heart doesn't lie is with the, we're going to talk about the one that we don't have because we got shorted on our order, which is the new weapons teams. So the weapons teams, you get 3 options. You get either the Warp-Built Scourgers, the Warp-Fire Thrower, or the Rattling Gun. Rattling Gun, and again, this depends on points. So all of these have a rule, a hidden weapon team. While this unit is within the combat range of a friendly Clanreth unit that has 5 or more models, and there are no other friendly weapon teams units within that unit's combat range, this unit is not visible to enemy units more than 13 inches away. So it can't be shot, can't be targeted by spells, can't be targeted by anything. This is kind of replaces the old rule where you used to get to hide these in infantry teams.
Where they would like pop out.
Which was always a little silly, because it's like, where did you get that rattling gun? Don't worry about it.
It was hidden in here, don't worry.
So your opponent now knows where they are, they just can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
These all 3 have that. So the Rattling Gun is 3d6 attacks, 4s and 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage, crit 2 hits. Okay.
So lots of attacks.
The Warp-Fire Thrower is 2d6 attacks, 2s and 4s, 2 rend, 1 damage, but it has shoot it in combat. Also only 10-inch range as opposed to the Rattling Gun's 15. And the Warp-Built Scourger is 15-inch range, 2d6 attacks, 2s and 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage, anti-cavalry plus 1 rend, crit 2 hits.
So less base hits.
All of these, by the way, have 3 health, 6-inch movement, and a 6-up save. Do not get these shot, they will die.
They have the rule that they can't be targeted for a reason.
Yes. These will not survive counterpunch. No. So you're kind of picking, like, the Rattling Gun is weight of dice, right? 4s and 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage. The Warp-Fire Thrower is shorter range, hits better, but wounds on 4s, but has more rend, but has fewer attacks, but has shoot in combat to make up for the short range.
Yeah. So it's very back and forth for that one.
Yes. And the Warp-Bolt Scourger is, again, longer range, does not have shoot in combat, doesn't have as good rend, it still wounds like crap, but has better rend against cavalry, and plus 2 crit on hit.
Strangely enough, I think the Warp-Bolt Scourger is the worst of them. Plus 1 against cavalry is very specific.
Plus 1 rend against cavalry specifically.
Yeah.
There are times when that is never going to come up. It also... I like the thrower the best because your clan rats are screens.
Yeah.
Your clan rats are not like stand back and shoot. And your Rattling Guns, now they don't have to be in combat with your clan rats, but they need to be moving with your clan rats. So I actually like the Warp-Fire Thrower the best.
Yeah.
Although I do also like the Rattling Gun.
The extra rend, I feel like, on the Warp-Fire Thrower is probably the thing that tips it over first.
You do wound on 4s, but they all wound on 4s.
They all wound on 4s.
So you hit on 2s, and yeah, you only have 2d6 attacks instead of 3d6, but hitting on 2s instead of 4s,
yeah,
and you've got shorter range, but I don't know.
So 3 extra attacks for the other one, but -2 to hit.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd rather
I like the thrower the best, personally.
Agreed.
All right, let's go back to the ones we do have models for. The Warp Grinder. Grindy. So, 5-inch movement, 8 health, which is kind of odd. 4 up safe.
Definitely has upgraded model-wise, because it used to be the same size as the other ones, and now it's like...
It used to be an option for the heavy weapons teams.
Yeah, and now it's like twice the size.
Yes. Warpstone Drill Fang is D3 attacks, 4 to hit, 2 to wound, 3 rend, 5 damage. And you also get some companion attacks that don't matter.
5. It's only D3 attacks.
Yes.
But 5
And you only hit
damage?
on 4s. But you wound on 2s and have 3 rend and 5 damage. So you can pick this unit up to 1 friendly non-monster Skaven unit. Sorry, Vizik. If those units haven't been deployed and they can get deployed into the tunnels below. And then if it's in the tunnels below, you can pick an enemy unit more than 6 inches from all other enemy units. And on a 4-up, you have to roll a dice. On a 4-up, set up this unit within 3 inches of the target and more than 6 inches from all other enemy units. Then set up the unit that was in the tunnels with it. So this is weird.
It is so many words.
Because remember, you already have Deep Strike, like on everybody.
Yeah.
With the Gnaw holes.
It does have to be next to the knotholes, and this gets around that.
Yes.
This is an addition.
But this one has to pick a target who is not within 6 inches of all other enemy units.
So it wants something by itself.
This unit is designed to punish back objective holders.
Yes.
This is like the most niche specific unit.
The opponent goes like, oh, I'm going to screen you out in the back, and you're like hell you are.
That's what it's for, because the opponent you pick can't be within 6 inches.
And you pop in closer.
Yeah, you pop in closer within 3 inches of the target, which is,
in combat
range. Or, well, I mean, is it within combat range?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in combat range. Sorry, I got confused. It's in combat range, or at least very least in charge range. Because, it has to be set up within combat, which means you didn't charge.
No.
Which is a little weird. And then someone else has to come up with you.
But it's on a roll of a 4-up.
Yes. So it's only on a 4-up.
If it wasn't for that 4-up, this thing would be fantastic.
This depends so much on points.
It does. Like, its attacks are between absolutely mediocre and ridiculous, depending on what you roll.
Yes. Like, you only have D3 attacks, so you could roll a 1 pretty easily, and then you hit on a 4, and then you whiff that.
Yeah.
But if you roll 3 attacks and you hit with all of them, you're throwing 15 damage. Like, this will blend anything. This also, this relies on dragging something good with it.
It does. And it says non-monster.
So infantry.
Infantry, it can be a war machine.
Yep. I guess. Doom wheel!
Hang on, hear me out. Plague furnace.
Bong! Plague furnace doesn't have the bell.
You're right. Yeah, I definitely don't want the bell back there. Plague furnace.
No, do the bell. Do the bell.
Do the bell.
Ding dong.
It should say infantry. It does not say
infantry. Dragging a bell with this is the tactic called ding dong ditch.
I love that it comes up in melee.
Yes.
So good. Yeah, completely points reliant. If this thing is less than 100 points,
even then, it requires a specific strategy, and your opponent can just, go no by never having something more than 6 inches.
That's true.
Which does handicap you on certain objectives.
Yeah.
Someone they used an objective where they advanced their cavalry to the end of the board, even in your territory.
Yep.
Drill.
Well, you've made a mistake. Again,
right.
It's that 4-up. It's that 4-up that gets me to go maybe not.
All right, let's talk Critic. Critic Foulblade. Mr. Queek Wannabe. So, he's unique, he is hero, he's infantry. He is also War Master.
Interesting.
6 wounds, 6 health, 4-up save. He has a gun. Look out, he's got a gun. It's a warp-lock pistol that has crit auto wound, 10-inch range, 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend, D3 damage. And then he's got Doom Fang. 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend, 2 damage. So the main problem with the other Claw Lord is he wounds
2
on...
hits?
Yes, and crit 2 hits. No, Doom Fang is crit mortal. Yeah.
Sorry, not crit.
So Doom Fang the unit has strike first for the rest of the turn, but it cannot use commands if you use this ability.
Yep.
So that's the bargain.
Yep.
That he makes is I get to strike first, but I don't get to use commands.
They could have.
And you know what? I'm happy we're not doing first time.
Yeah.
Mitchell, have you heard about her spear?
But what does your spear do?
Yeah. A reputation for cunning. This is enemy hero phase. You can pick 2 different eligible units to have the always 3 claw steps ahead ability, which is the one that lets you move. But at least one of those units has to have the verminous keyword. That's pretty good because you get to give 3 people as long as you pick a unit of clan rats.
Yeah, and clan rats are so ubiquitous for this book. It's every single character is can take this specific thing and also clan rats.
And then he's got a passive called Foster Competition. Add 1 to wound rolls for friendly storm vermin units while they are wholly within 13 of this unit.
I think I know which one we're talking about.
Yeah, so let's talk about storm vermin. I also like that this guy gets a lore blurb.
Yeah, he's a new character.
Let's talk about storm vermin. They have 1 health, 6-inch movement, a 4-up save, and 1 control. They have storm vermin weapons, 3 attacks now, 3s and 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage. Anti-charge plus 1 rend. Friendly Skaven infantry heroes have ward 5. So Critic doesn't normally have one of these.
While within combat range.
While within combat range, yes.
Yeah. So, sure. Has ward 5?
Yeah, So here's the thing. The only thing Critic really does for your army is the increased use of 3 claw steps ahead.
Yeah.
Which I was expecting for the supposed tactical genius. I was kind of expecting more.
Be able to move 1 extra unit?
Yeah. Now what 3 claw steps ahead does is you pick a friendly non-monster Skaven that is not in combat and was not set up, and they can make a normal move ability during the enemy hero phase.
So he can do 2 extras, but
Yes.
one of them has to be either...
Well, he can pick 2 different eligible units.
Oh,
so he
I
can
thought
only
it
do
was
1
2
extra.
more.
No. I think I said 3. I apologize. He can only do 2, and one of them has to be Verminous. Again, it's very points dependent. If he's not that much more than a normal Claw Lord, then I could see it. Because he is better than a normal Claw Lord.
Basically, yeah.
He's an improved Claw Lord.
He makes Storm Vermin go 3s and 3s.
Yeah, I mean, he hits better because he's got 2 rend instead of 1. He's got wound on 3s, and he has 1 fewer attack, which is kind of funny. But he does have a gun. Claw Lords don't.
Oh, interestingly, I want to point out that despite the leader of the Storm Vermin having a gun, the profile has no gun, and they don't have an ability for a gun.
Nope.
There's no reason to put that on there.
I mean, it looks cool. Hey, no, it says Storm Vermin weapons.
So that's
clearly,
included?
That's included the gun. The gun is a melee only.
The gun, yeah, it's not loaded.
Oh, it is. It's loaded with shot.
Yeah. It's only a 3-inch range.
Flechettes. I don't know. What do you want? Yeah. So Storm Vermin and Critic. They don't hit that hard for their. I mean, I don't know how many points they are.
Yeah, I don't know how many points they are either.
You only get 10 in the unit though.
4 up save, 1 health.
Yeah, 3s and 4s. 3 attacks is good.
3 attacks is good.
There are other better things you can use in melee.
Yeah. Like
the Brood Terror. Let's talk about the Brood Terror.
Let's talk about the Brood Terror.
So, the Brood Terror. I guess we'll talk about the Brood Terror and the Rat Ogres at the same time.
Okay.
Because the Rat Ogres, of course, are not new, but it's a new release. This was in the Skaven time box. My vote for best glow up, because the old one looked like bad He-Man action figures.
You did really hate the old Rat Ogres.
They were bad!
I think the best glow up is the Globadiers.
No, that's the best globe up. Brood Terror. 6-inch movement, 12 health, 5 up save. He does have the monster keyword. And of course the Molder keyword. Spoiler. He's got a Warp Flame Scourger, which is basically an upgraded Warp Fire gun. 15-inch range, 2d6 attacks, 4s and 2s, 1 rend, d3 damage, anti-infantry plus 1 rend, and crit auto wound. For melee weapons, he's got the Chain Flail. 5 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 3 damage. And Bladed Limbs, 3 attacks, 4s and 4s, 1 rend, 2 damage. So he heals d6 at the end of any turn.
Ooh.
That is so swingy.
It is.
And then once per turn, any combat phase, you can roll a dice. So on 2 up for the rest of the turn, subtract 1 for hit rolls made by enemy units while they are within 6 inches of this unit. And that's a rampage.
Ooh. Okay.
So he's actually defensive. Kind of.
Strangely defensive.
He's pretty good in combat. Again, we have to see the points. He's pretty decent in combat. He hits on 4s, but so is every monster nowadays.
Yeah. So here's the thing I don't like that you pointed out. So you said that his gun is similar to the Warp Fire Thrower.
Doesn't have shooting combat.
It does. Well, my issue is it's 4s and 2s with crit auto wound rather than 2s and 4s.
Yeah, I just realized that.
Because the Warp Fire Throwers are flamethrowers.
Yeah, and the Warp Fire gun, like on the Rat Ogre, is 2s and 4s. It hits very easily because it's a flamethrower.
Yeah, whereas he hits on 4s and wounds on 2s. So the crit auto wound doesn't matter as much when you're wounding on 2s.
No, it doesn't. That's a good point. I completely missed that.
That's really weird. Anyway, that's just the thing that stood out to me.
So he's a kind of a defensive piece because everyone within 6 inches gets -1 to hit on a 2 up.
That's pretty good,
And
honestly.
he himself is kind of hard to kill because he's regenerating anywhere between 1 and 6 wounds every turn.
Every turn. So yeah, this reminds me of a Nurgle, Beast of Nurgle. Beast of Nurgle is like, I'm going to stand here and you're not going to kill me. And I probably won't kill you, but you're not going to kill me.
This guy will kill you, though.
He
5 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 3 damage.
Yeah. Anything with base 3 damage is pretty good.
Yeah.
5 attacks, yeah. I actually kind of like him. Again, everything is points dependent. I don't know what points he is.
Now, if you compare that to the Rat Ogre, who is same move, 6 inches, 4 health per Rat Ogre. You get 3 of them in a unit now, which is good. 5 up save, so not great. They've got the Warp Fire gun, which is 10-inch range, shoot in combat, 2d6 attacks, 2s and 4s, 2 rend, 1 damage. And then their melee weapons are 5 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, 2 damage. Their big thing is that you can just choose to inflict d3 mortal damage and then add 1 to the attack characteristic of this unit's melee weapons.
So going to 6 attacks apiece?
Yes.
Yeah.
They hit like a truck.
Yes,
And they also only get 1 gun per unit. Both of these are only really useful talking about them with their friend, the Master Molder. Master Molder is also a glow-up of a new hero, or of an old hero. He's got a gun. It's a warp syringe pistol. It's shoot in combat, d6 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 1 damage. He's got 5 health himself, 6 up save.
AKA don't get him in combat.
His melee weapon is Arsenal Mutation. It's crit 2 hits, but it's 4 attacks, 3s and 4s, 1 wound, 1 damage. This guy's a support hero. And what he does is pick another friendly Molder unit wholly within 13, heal them 3. That's at the end of any turn. In your charge phase, he can pick another friendly Molder unit within this unit's combat range and add +1 to charge rolls. So this guy can, for your Rat Ogres, heal them so you can keep using the Unleashed Warp Fury.
Yep, to take
Or,
damage.
for your Brood Terror, just make it stupid hard to kill. You're healing...
D6 plus 3.
So you're healing between 4 and 9 health every turn. Now the problem is the Brood Terror only has a 5 up save and no ward.
That is rough.
He's not actually that... I mean, unless you miss your roll, because it's any combat phase, he's weak to shooting.
That's true.
But, I mean, he is giving -1 to hit, but...
Yeah.
As again, points dependent, but they're the same number of wounds between them.
Same number of wounds, same save.
The Brood Terror has better control, 5 control as opposed to 3 control for 3 Rat Ogres.
Right.
But the Rat Ogres are putting out a lot more damage.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
a lot more damage with all their attacks. And I would rather have the Rat Ogres.
Yeah, that's true.
Not just saying that because I've said I'm not a huge fan of the new Brood Terror sculpt. It's fine. It's just not my bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the new Rat Ogre sculpts. But in general, I would like the Rat Ogres better.
That's fair.
Now, points come out and the Rat Ogres are horribly overcosted. Ignore everything I just said.
Yeah, if this is like, I don't know, 150 and these are 200, like for those 50 extra points, I'd be like...
Yeah, for 50 extra points.
Pocket rats.
Ah! This just in. We have more rats.
We got so many rats today.
Globadiers. And I guess we'll also talk about the
Scourger?
Yeah, the Galvanier.
Galvanier, not the Scourger.
Well, and we have the Arch Warlock. Let's just talk Scryer. Bring the Jezzails over here.
Sorry, Molder for reference. We just talked about him.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
He's
All
gone.
right. The Jezzails. Let's talk about them first because they're the ones we already have. These guys kill things. These guys kill things really hard. They have not changed from the index, which means they're one of the better things in the book, but it depends so much on how they point them. They might nerf the heck out of the Jezzails.
Yes.
Yeah, hit 4s and 3s, 2 rend, 2 damage, but it's so easy to give these guys buffs to that.
Mm-hmm.
They ignore Look Out, Sir. Or you can give them Ignore Look Out, Sir with the Spyglass guy.
Mm-hmm.
Jezzails are hot fire, very dangerous.
Take 6, they'll kill stuff.
Well, it depends on points.
True.
So. All right, let's talk about the Acolyte Globadiers. So previously, Acolyte Globadiers were absolute glass cannons that nobody fielded because they were stupid expensive, money-wise. Nowadays, they are absolute glass cannons. So you get 5 of them in a unit now, 2 health each, but you only get 5.
2 health, you say?
Yes.
But Storm Vermin, only 1
It's
health.
all the stuff they're wearing.
I guess.
6 save. Storm Vermin also have a better save.
That's true.
Their melee attacks don't matter at all. These guys have hidden weapon team.
Oh?
I didn't realize that.
I didn't know that either.
Because they didn't used to. They used to be their own battle line.
Yeah.
So they have hidden weapon team, so you can hide them by other clan rats. They get +1 attack if they target an enemy unit that has... +1 damage if you attack something with 10 or more models.
Oh, nice.
And their attack is 10 inches, 1 attack, 3s and 3s, 1 rend, D3 damage.
Okay. So 5 attacks for a min unit.
Yes. Anti-infantry +1 rend, shoot in combat. Now, the shoot in combat thing doesn't actually help that much because they have some decent range and also they won't survive combat.
No, they will not survive combat.
So these are horde clear weapons team, basically.
Yeah.
It depends so much on points whether you're bringing these over the horde clear of the warp fire thrower.
That's true.
Because you're looking at 5 attacks for a unit of 5, or 1 warp fire thrower is having 2d6 attacks, so that's average 7.
But minimum 2 damage per attack.
Yes.
Up to 4 damage.
D3 damage is what really helps there.
Yeah.
And if you're attacking a big unit, D3 +1, that's really nice.
That's really strong.
3s and 3s instead of 2s and 4s.
And 10 health.
Yes. They can take away more of a hit.
I kind of like them a lot.
I mean, they're also great models.
They're fantastic. This is my vote for best glow up.
So we've got the 2 heroes, the Arch Warlock and the Warlock Galvanier. The Arch Warlock is a new sculpt of an old model. My personal favorite sculpt, period, here.
Yeah.
Just because rat and power armor.
Yeah. Cool.
In power armor, he should have a 3-up save, but he has a 4-up save. Whatever. 5 health. 6-inch movement, though. He's got his Warp Fire Gauntlet, which has shoot in combat. 3 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 1 damage, 10-inch range. He's got his 2 melee weapons. He's got a storm cage halberd and a crushing piston claw. The halberd is 3 attacks, 3s and 4s, 1 rend 2 damage, same as the claw lords. And way fewer attacks. And the piston claw is 2 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rends 2 damage. His main thing is he's a wizard 1. And you have good spells with Skaven. And a friendly scryer unit wholly within 13 inches of this unit uses the covering fire command, which is basically counterfire. No command points are spent. So this guy wants to sit by your guns and let them shoot at things.
Yeah. He wants to stand by the Giselles and go like, okay, now shoot them.
Oh, you moved? Bad idea.
Now shoot them.
Or hey, you didn't. It's not Overwatch.
It's not Overwatch.
Now you can still only use counterfire once.
Yes,
because it's a core
but
ability.
it costs nothing.
But it costs you nothing.
Yeah, which is very good.
Which means you could use, and command points are very thirsty in this edition. So being able to like park this guy by, I mean, it's any scryer unit. So that's counterfiring with everything from storm fiends to a warp lightning cannon to the globadiers. It's just like, yeah, park this guy, and then if they do get close, he's pretty punchy.
He's not terrible in melee.
The Galvanier, on the other hand, is more ranged-based. He's got melee attacks that don't matter. Only a 5-up save, 5 wounds. But he's got the Warp Bolt Obliterator. 18-inch range, anti-cavalry +1 rend, that again, crit 2 hits, 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend, D3 damage. Now, what he does is he specifically buffs Warp Bolt Scourgers. Pick a friendly Warp Bolt Scourger, which is the one we liked the least.
Yep.
Within this unit's combat range, on a 2-up, set the attacks characteristic of the target's Warp Bolt Scourgers to 10. So instead of 2d6, it goes to 10.
It's auto 10.
Auto 10. So it removes the gamble. Because normally Warp Bolt Scourgers are 2d6 attacks. He also has more and more Warp Bolt Doom. By the way, that setting it to 10 is only once per battle.
Oh.
More and more Warp Bolt Doom is any shooting phase. Pick an enemy unit that had any damage points allocated to it this turn by attacks made with this unit's gun. Roll a d3 for each other enemy unit within the target's combat range on a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on an enemy unit. So it's chain lightning. I don't like this guy.
He better be cheap.
He's only buffing the Warp Bolt Scourgers in the sense of making it less random.
Yeah,
once. 10 is higher than average, but only once. And then has a chance to chain damage to blobs.
If he did the chain damage on the weapon team unit, like he let the weapon team's chain damage, I think that would be a lot better. But it just being him at only 2 attacks, that's pretty kind of not very
Yeah, I don't like him, but he might be cheap.
He might be cheap.
Cool model, though.
He looks cheap.
And that's all the releases. Now, we'll do a full separate book review later, if there is demand for it. Let us know below if you actually want to see that. If not, then we won't do one. I'm going to read through all of it. But, yeah, so all of the new units are fine.
Yes. I don't think there's a, oh my god, this is the best thing in the book, you have to buy
No,
it.
which is good.
Yeah, I completely agree.
This is a thing we had with 40K when we got the new edition. They're trying to tone things down a little bit. And it shows. And that's a good thing, because Age of Sigmar last edition was very killy.
Yeah.
And that meant that to be not killy, you had to be almost impossible to kill, which was frustrating to fight against if you were somewhere in the middle of either of those spectrums.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that Vizic's not auto-take. Not just because it's $165. Okay, mostly because it's $165. Good heavens. Yeah. I get why he's a new centerpiece model, but man, oh man. Great looking model though. But I like that he's usable.
Yeah. I like that he has some play. I like that he's not an auto take it. See, your problem is the price. My problem is the points.
Yeah, well, for 450 points.
Yeah.
Hey, you say that just means I have less models to paint.
Sure.
I'm gonna go play Slaves of Darkness Archeon, so I only have to paint 4 models. Archeon and 3 Varangard.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that none of this is like automatically required. The closest one's probably the Giselles.
Maybe. So much of this depends on the points. I know there's a leaked document. We aren't talking about that because we don't know for sure.
I actually just don't know any of the points.
I didn't look it up because I didn't want to rely on that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we talk about the book in full.
Yes.
For now,
once the points are out.
This is just kind of a general idea. Honestly, this is more about whether these models are fun, because that's honestly, points change. And newsflash, with the digital points, they're going to change more than they used to.
Yeah, they are.
So get used to, I mean, we always recommend buying models based on what you think is cool or is fun, not the points, because the points can change at the drop of a hat. I'm going to get that new power armor rat because I think he looks amazing.
He is awesome.
I don't think he's that great, but I am going to put him by my Jezzails and just, 360 no-scope things until someone tells me to stop.
Or everybody's dead.
Or everyone's dead.
Can't tell me to stop if you're dead.
Yeah, overall, happy with these releases. We've gushed about these so much, I don't want to sound like a broken record.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this is a great release. This is the release that I was hoping that they would get last edition when we were like, ooh, Skaven, and they got like 5 models, and we're like,
they got an model.
can you make it a little more, please?
Please, GW, may I have some more?
This is what I was hoping for.
Yes, and what we got. So speaking of what we got, next up on the docket, Age of Sigmar-wise, you'll see some more faction focuses from us about the faction packs. And of course, we will do a new faction focus on Skaven.
Yeah.
But until that time,
bye.